Okay, so we had few things about AI today, but I think the real stuff is, about to come, definitely. So last session for the day, with some obviously very renowned player, SAP and Mistral AI. So guys, please take the best seat available, okay? Yeah, I'll find you some mics. And in 20 minutes, we'll all meet for drinks. So please make the most of this amazing session about to come. Cornee, I'll leave you the mic so you can start, and then I'll find two other mics. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you very much, and thank you all for attending this session. As already quickly introduced, SAP and Mistral AI might not be a very logical combination, but we will come to that in our session as well. A session where I will take the role of the host or the moderator, asking some questions to Gianna and also to Emmanuel. But we will open up, if time will allow for it, for questions from the audience as well. But maybe to start off relatively simple, Emmanuel, can you give a quick introduction about yourself and your role within SAP?
Yes, but I would defer first to Gianna. We're in France, so women first. So.
Pardon.
Hello everyone. So I'm Gianna. I lead business development at Mistral AI. I joined the company over a year ago, almost day one actually. And since then I've been doing many different things on the commercial side for customer acquisitions, partner acquisitions. Elsa was driving the partnership with SAP that we're very excited about. And yeah, happy to be here today. Thanks for having us.
Emmanuel.
And Emmanuel, happy to be here as well. And I've been with SAP 10 years now. I've had several hats, CVC, partnerships, innovation, and most recently, and for the past 9 months, we've been driving and discussing an important partnership between our two organizations with Mistral. And SAP, as you know, has a very active stance and products with AI, so we'll be talking more about it today.
Because that's the obvious link between the two. Of course, AI, where there is, and we will speak a little bit more about it, a partnership between Mistral from France and SAP, which is originally from Germany. And of course, those are two European countries, which has to do a lot with trust and regulations as well. But maybe one additional question for you, Gianna. How does a day in the life look like for somebody currently working at Mistral AI, and maybe sharing some personal experiences?
So there is not one, I would say, traditional day in a company like, I would say, any fast-growing company. At the moment, I mean, we've reached 100 employee mark. So we're now 100 employees over spread in the US, the UK, and the main office still being in Paris. As we have been growing, or still growing, the go-to-market team quite a lot. Most time is spent on hiring, I would say. And then, hands-on in customer conversations, partner conversations. So yeah, let's say we're still very much hands-on and very much entrepreneurial, still, every one of us.
Okay, thank you. Speaking about customers and partners, how do you bring as Mistral AI value to those relationships with customers and partners?
So what we do is we create large language models, mainly, but we don't only create those models, we also create products around it. So we have our platform, lab platform, where we host models and also features around the models that make, for example, customization as easy as possible. And so this can be used by, we are a B2B company, so we mainly sell to businesses. These businesses can be anything from very large corporations to startups just getting started. And so it really much depends on how customers want to use these models or these products that we build. What we've seen a lot is use cases that are external facing, particularly from startups and scale-ups who really embed our models and products into their products and thus generate additional revenue with new products and features that they build. Another way would be for them to use GenAI internally in becoming more efficient, smoothing out processes, etc. So that's more of a cost-saving value generation. So we see both forms of use cases, and we help customers develop these, particularly the large enterprises, but also for, let's say, smaller companies as well.
Thank you. Emmanuel, same question for you. Even though the situation of SAP in the market is different than Mistral, we are utilizing or having their models in our technology platform. How do we then bring the value to customers and the partnerships?
Yeah, and I don't know if in the room we have customers of SAP, so we'll have Q&A, and I hope we can have interesting discussions. But what I would say, like to simplify, SAP has for many years been an orchestrator. So, and you know, the ERP is an orchestration platform in a way. So it orchestrates finance, HR, supply chain, etc. And the same goes with AI. There's a number of models available worldwide, and Mistral is one of the leading ones. And so it makes sense for SAP to be close to the leading LLMs, especially we're both European organizations, or I should say SAP is a global software provider with European roots, and Mistral is also a global LLM with European roots. So we have obvious connection points. And when we listen to customers, they want simplification. They come to SAP because SAP offers this speed and ease of access to AI. And at the moment, they find this ease of access through mainly three ways. One is through SAP applications, where the AI is embedded into the applications. Two is through an environment where they can access the models and build themselves. And the third is just having SAP as a basically AI distributor, as a token provider. So that's how we help our customers. And of course, the number one and the most obvious and easiest way to procure AI is through the SAP applications, just because it's easier. The customers already are using the applications. Now we have a co-pilot called Joule, which provides AI directly in the SAP applications. And behind Joule are several models, and Mistral is now a proeminent and a major one, especially for organizations that are in Europe, but also worldwide, and especially for organizations that look at their data in a particular way. They want basically to keep a homogeneous environment with SAP, and they care about the sensitivity of their data.
And maybe just to add on to that, so this is also what we see a lot, particularly from European corporates. We see a lot of need for data protection, for GenAI use cases where they can't use public APIs, so they actually want to be able to keep the data within their premises, within their private cloud. And so where we really saw the big value in the collaboration with SAP is as well to kind of like bring our models into the SAP environment, where customers can, within their proven and secure environment, use our models in a very secure manner for different use cases. And so the Copilot will be one of them, but more to come.
Thank you very much. Maybe back to you, Emmanuel. What is your view on AI models which are partially open source or open source versus the closed models and the commercialization of those two different?
So I would say same comment that SAP has for many years, of course, sold closed source software. This is how the corporate makes money. But actually, few people know that SAP is one of the main also actor close to open source. I was reminded by a company recently that SAP was one of the first customers of GitHub worldwide. So there's a very large community that is using open source around SAP. SAP also has some layers that are open source. And so SAP as an orchestrator, you know, it's the same answer as with AI. We want to stay in touch with the best technologies and both open source and closed source. But of course, SAP is making money on the closed source. And it makes sense also for this reason to have this partnership with Mistral, and Gianna will say a bit more about open source and closed source.
Yes. So we're very well known for our open source models that are freely available for anybody to download and use however they want. However, it's not the only models we have. We also have what we call enterprise grade optimized models, and so these ones are commercial models that can be acquired, that have higher performances and or are more efficient than our open source models. And so we want to really like run this dual strategy of, and we're going to continue to do so, to always release open source models. They're always going to be innovative in one way or another. We just released our very first multimodal model called Mistral, else in open source. So we want to keep continuing releasing research openly for everyone. However, since we're still a company and we need to make money, we also have these optimized models. And we think that this combination of both open source and still have a commercial offering is the way to go to keep doing great things for the world to explore, but at the same time also be able to run a business.
You mentioned efficiency. Can you share a little bit more about your models in relation to efficiency, maybe also related to other models in the market?
So one of our big USPs as such is that we always say we create the most efficient models in the market. Now what efficiency means is that a model has a trade-off between model size and performance. So usually the larger model, the better it performs. But the larger model also, the more costly it is to run. Because you need larger infrastructure, which is very expensive. And so one thing that we're really great at is to create models that are, for a respective size, more performant than competitors. And so that's the, let's say, performance versus size ratio is very high. And so we've been able to do that across all the models we release. They're always, for the respective size, they always have a better performance than competitors because we have a great science team, and so this is what they're really good at. And we also think that this is the value that we want to pass on to our customers because using Mistral models then versus, let's say, other open source models out there or closed source models, you get the advantage that you have the same performance for lower cost or for the same size, let's say higher performance. So we're going to continue doing so.
And what about deployment options? Is it, I think APIs were mentioned. I know with SAP we're very keen to serve different and a lot of industries which require different deployment models. What is it that Mistral AI is offering to the market?
So our mission is to make GenAI ubiquitous, so accessible to everyone. So portability of our models is very important, meaning you can, or our customers can deploy models in all different forms. They can either self-deploy if they want to on their own premises. They can use our platform where we host the models. They can also use us through all the cloud providers. So we also have partnership with all of them, not just with one, because we really want to make it as easy as possible for our customers to access these models in various different forms. And also in our SAP Mistral collaboration, we also aim to do so in very different fronts. So always kind of like go after the preference of the customer, where they prefer to host the model basically, that is available in that sense as well.
If we have, you said the ease of use as well, if there are any scale-up startups in the room and they would like to get started very easily, do you have startup programs in place like other vendors might offer?
Yes, we currently, we have been granting startup grants. We're currently also working on a startup program that we're going to announce later this year with more of a smaller selection of startups that can apply and where we really help them with solution architects, with help from our science team, etc., to build great products. So from a general, let's say, go-to-market perspective, we really believe in startups. We are still a startup, even though we kind of like have been growing a lot. And so we also want to support other startups out there and going to build and provide, let's say, the tools for startups to also build on top of Mistral.
Maybe passing the same question to you, Emmanuel. Imagine we have SAP customers or partners or partners in our ecosystem that want to leverage Mistral models, get started with SAP. Is that an easy journey? Can we do it with credits as well, free of charge at the start?
You're asking the right questions. So thanks so much. Yeah, we've been working for the past 10 months to make it easy for customers to procure Mistral through SAP. So the Mistral models are available on the GenAI hub of SAP, and they will be integrated into the applications of SAP little by little. And this is all seamless, integrated. And we can't yet touch on an announcement that will be made in 2 weeks. I don't want to steal the thunder from one of our leaders who's been behind the whole partnership and will say so. But let's just say that there are ways to access a model through APIs, and there are ways where customers can get a homogeneous environment with data, software, AI, GPU compute, and cloud compute. And here we're touching on subjects of data sensitivity, data protection, even sovereignty for countries and Europe. And so more to be announced in a couple of weeks.
Then I will not ask any questions on this sovereign topic anymore. Maybe passing over to the audience, and we're closing the time as well. Are there any questions by the audience that somebody wants to ask? I see already a hand on the right side.
So what is it? It's a question for you, Gianna, but also for you, Emmanuel. But what is it that you find most challenging for you for developing the business of Mistral? You know, you could speak of enterprise adoption of AI, fear of AI, whatever. But what is it that you find on a daily basis is the most challenging thing you have to go through today?
It's a very good question. I would say the market that we're in is quite unique, and I've never seen this before, and I don't think anybody of us has ever seen this before, in terms of the fast adoption of how GenAI changes the world. And so for us, being a major player in this play, I mean, every day there's new things happening. Every day there's like one of our competitors doing something, and you have to be very much like aware and observing what's happening. And so every day there might be something that a competitor does that completely changes our strategy. And so being so, let's say, aware of what's happening and being so agile to quickly adapt to what's happening is definitely, let's say, a big challenge, or like one thing that really keeps us awake at night. Since we're still much smaller than our competitors, I mean, for us, we can move very fast into other directions. We can explore different ways. So we're very much more like faster adapting to these changes. But from a go-to-market perspective, it's like, I mean, every day, whenever something happens, like the cards are mixed again. And particularly from a price point perspective, there has been a lot of like pressure on pricing, which is hard when you invest a lot in building these models. And then because of, let's say, competitive developments where competitors put a lot of like pressure on pricing because they want to keep competitors out, you have to find the right way to still generate value and generate revenue. So it's a very fun game. So it's we're very like optimistic, all of us, and very ambitious, and we have like big things we want to do. But the pace of the market and the development of the market is quite unique. So yeah, I would say this is the biggest challenge for us.
And similar answer on the SAP side, call to action if you have time, go on Google SAP AI. You'll find the website of the AI use cases at SAP. I find it amazing. I know many companies are developing use cases, but it's moving fast. Like you can now use a Copilot to generate a job posting on an HR system. You can use a Copilot to know what's the budget for arrival of certain SKUs in the supply chain and to predict what you should order. So it's moving quite fast, and SAP sees its role very seriously to make sure it's close to the top innovation, hence the Mistral partnership, but also internally to develop the use cases for the applications, and also from an infrastructure point of view, how to make sure that the models are running smoothly on an infrastructure and that the customer doesn't see it and it's seamless and working efficiently. So that's a lot of, to your point of staying up to date on technological point of view and innovation. And last call to action also, if you want to see, there's an available public roadmap of SAP. So you can just type SAP public roadmap and you will see all the use cases that are being developed across the products.
Any other questions? I see a hand there. Yeah, in the back.
Yeah, my name is Vihar. My question is, just like OpenAI has come up with ChatGPT, I'm not aware if Mistral AI or has also developed such a tool. But if not, do you plan to come up with such a tool for customers?
Like a chat tool, you mean?
Yeah, like something like ChatGPT that from OpenAI. Yeah.
Yes. So we actually do have one. It's called Le Chat.
It's already there. Okay, thank you.
Which means the cat in French. So we do have one, and Le Chat is currently available on our platform. If you tap mistral.ai, You can access it currently for free. And we will also make Le Chat available for enterprises soon, so in different deployment forms, etc. So yes, we do.
42 seconds left. Any final question?
Final question.
See that as a no. So if you want to speak
I've got one. When is the Mistral AI startup program launching?
So we're aiming for later this year. We'll make a big announcement and then happy to take applications.
Beautiful. Watch this space.
And with that, I think we come to the end of this session. Thank you very much and give them a big hand of applause. Thank you.
Thank you so much.